So I know what you're thinking. It sometimes feels like we're trying to look left and right at the same time. How can we work on our muscles, right? How can we build them without triggering these pain points? I know maybe you've been lifting for a while and you just have a lot of injuries, or maybe you just have injuries from a pre-existing condition and or accident, and you know that developing lean muscle mass will help significantly with the insert problem here that you personally are dealing with. Enter isometric exercise, okay? Now, a lot of this channel so far has been overcoming isometric training. So that's a lot of the iso chain work that you guys have seen. So if you haven't seen what the iso chain is, here's a link right here. It's called What is the Iso Chain and Is It Even Legit? Check that video out if you're ever wondering what that device is. But we're not talking about overcoming. That style of training is called overcoming isometric training. Today we're going to cover yielding isometric training. It's kind of long-winded start to this. This is exercise you could do right now, and I'm going to give us 3 exercises that we can do right now, okay? And they're not 3 weird fitness tips to lose 7.2% body fat. You know all those fitness ads and stuff that we see. Listen, this is straight to the point, okay? And the first one we're going to cover is the wall sit. So the wall sit is going to put us in a squat position. So automatically our quads are under load. You're not gonna feel it right away. You're gonna feel it in about 10-15 seconds. In fact, while you're listening to me do this, you can go ahead and follow along in the video to either the left or right of my face, okay? And as we're doing this wall sit, usually what you're gonna start to feel first as the quads start to burn up, as they're doing the bulk of the heavy lifting here, is you're using them to keep yourself afloat. And you don't wanna cheat with the wall sit. You wanna keep a nice 90-degree angle here. And the longer you hold that angle, the more your quads are gonna burn. And what's awesome is we are getting the stimulus required for growth. What is it? You got it. It's time under tension. We've talked about this since this channel's inception because it is the king of growth. Time under tension. But we also can't forget load either. And what I mean by that is, like, if you've ever seen someone lifting light weights to failure, and they're just like, I don't understand, why am I not growing? It's because while you're taking your muscle to failure, you still need the appropriate load, all right? So here's why calisthenics always works. It's because you're taking your body's weight to failure on whatever exercise that you're working. So body weight squats, push-ups, pull-ups, you're asking your body to move your whole body's weight into those specific areas that you're trying to work. Pull-ups, lat, upper back complex and bicep, push-ups, chest, shoulder, tricep, a lot of anterior chain going on there. So it's the same thing here, only we're eliminating the concentric and eccentric phase of the lift, and we're just under load without any movement. Now, the unique benefit to isometric training is that we're going to really strengthen the joints. So the tendons and ligaments that connect the bone to bone and muscle to bone, we are getting tremendous benefit here by incorporating isometric training. And I think that if a lot of people knew that one thing I just said, they would do it a lot more. In fact, you'd probably see it a lot more on the internet, but it's because they really are unaware of the tremendous effects of the isometric training's benefit to the joints, okay? So not only are you getting the benefits to the muscle in question that you're working, but also the joint. Anyway, long-winded thing, going back to the wall sit. So that is going to be our primary isometric lower body workout. So what about our primary upper body isometric workout? Well, then look no further than, okay, ready for this? All we're gonna do is just hold a push-up position down low. Okay, so we're gonna transition the screen over to the left again. You can see me holding that position. And so it's very similar to a plank, only I'm just in push-up position. So what's going to start to burn first is the shoulders, all right? But then over time, the chest and the triceps are going to start to sweat a little bit too, just like the wall sit, okay? Because with the legs, with the compound movements for legs is quads, hams, and glutes. All right, so we're getting a lot of anterior chain work going on here. The joints in question that are going to get strengthened from here are your shoulders, all right, and your elbows. So when those areas get strengthened, when we go back to movement and we go back to the concentric and eccentric phase of the lift, you're going to have a lot more power at that angle that you're holding, but you're also going to get a little bit of angle spillover. In fact, up to 20 degrees in each direction. So I actually have a video on that. If you haven't seen that video, here's a link right here. You can go ahead and check that out. Did you notice how far in the camera I was for like probably the last 2 minutes? But that's cool. Luckily, we had a split screen. So that would be our second exercise. The last exercise that we can do. Now, we are going to need some type of railing, but as long as we have some type of railing, we can do an inverted isometric pull-up. So what is really important is that we have the angle right. I highly recommend holding at a 90-degree angle. That is going to stimulate the biceps, the lats, and the upper back complex like the trapezius. All right, so when those muscles are under load, there's only one more thing that we need to do with all three of these exercises. What is it? Oh, you got it, baby. We got to hold it for longer amounts of time. Okay, when we have isometric training like this, if there is no load, then our metric that we can still affect is the time under tension. Okay, in English, if we held the push-up position for 30 seconds on Monday, we should probably go for 31 seconds on Tuesday. Okay, we need to be continually pushing our body to its limits. Failure, no limit squad, get it? No limit. All right, but seriously, we want to push our body to failure. If we're not pushing our body to failure during each session, I don't want to say it's a complete waste of time, but it almost is, because now, and unless our fitness goal and you just want to maintain the level of fitness that you've achieved, we should be utilizing progressive overload in some sense. And so here are the benefits that we're going to get for these exercises. And these are just three. I'm going to cover more isometric body weight exercises that we can utilize honestly wherever. Okay, these are just the main three. So let's take a hypothetical Monday, Wednesday, Friday split. Okay, actually, in fact, we can do these every day if we split it up differently, but let's just take Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're gonna hold push-up position, we're gonna hold inverted row, and we're gonna hold wall sit. Whatever we get for the amount of time that we were able to hold that lift before our bodies just failed and we crumpled to the floor, you want to document that. So for example, if you could only hold that push-up position at the bottom for 17 seconds before you collapse to the ground because you hit muscle exhaustion, muscle failure, then write that down. And then on Wednesday, we know that we have to be 17 seconds. It's the same thing for the inverted row and the wall sit. For example, if we hit 18 and 22 seconds respectively, we know that on Wednesday, 18 and 22 seconds are the seconds that we have to be. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, it's gonna burn. This really burns, but we are totally pushing our muscles to the limit here. Our load is our body. We never have to worry about the load. The load is always adequate here. Okay, so if we wanted to go into yielding weighted isometrics, that's another video. So I'm going to cover that entirely. This is just body weight part 1, by the way, because there's a ton of exercise that we can do for this. But here's a nice split for us: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Push-up position, inverted row, wall sit, try and beat your time each subsequent session. Here's what I'd really recommend if your schedule allows. This will allow you to get 15 sessions in every month. Ready? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, repeat. Okay, that's essentially every other day. So you're going to always have 24 full hours of recovery, allowing for the next session to be as fresh as you possibly can be. The last piece of fitness advice I'm going to give you is to do multiple sets. I'd recommend just starting with 3 and going from there. If you like to really push your limit, you can increase the amount of sets. I just recommend 3 sets in the beginning and working on increasing the amount of time under tension per set. Speaking of time, what would be a good rest time between? I would say no more than 60 to 90 seconds, and 90 seconds, even that is kind of pushing it. Why? All right, well, when we perform these exercises right, our bodies are going to be completely freaking smoked. Okay, there should be nothing left. By the time you crumble and break form in that isometric exercise, you shouldn't be able to get right back on it and continue. You should have taken that muscle to failure. All right, so we don't want too much time to go between these sets. Otherwise, we're not defeating the purpose, but we're not getting as much out of it, because rest time is a very important metric in this fitness game as well. All right, guys, but what are your thoughts? Have you performed these yielding isometric exercises before? Go ahead and comment down below. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video.